Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. In today's video we're going to take a look at how to start collecting Warhammer 40,000 using one of the many different box sets available to us. In this video we'll go through each unit, looking at the basic rules and stats of those units along with how they work on the tabletop. And at the end of the video we'll also show you a sample army list and look at some other units we can use to expand upon the box set as well, and put this all into practice to hopefully inspire you into starting your own army in Warhammer 40,000. In today's video, we're going to look at getting started with the Genestealer cults in Warhammer 40,000 using the Biosantic Broodsurge Battleforce box set. Today's video is sponsored by Gap Games, a fantastic miniature wargaming store in Queensland, Australia. They stock a wide variety of miniature wargames from all things Games Workshop to some of my personal favourites, Conquest, The Last Argument of Kings, and all things Modifius wargames as well. Use our affiliate code in the link below to help support both this fantastic store and the channel as well. Leading the box set is one of two different characters we have in it. This is the new Benefactus. This character has a powerful psychic ranged attack with 1 attack at strength 12 with a -3 AP and damage d6+1 that ignores cover. You can also choose a focus version of the attack which will give you an extra attack, but also the hazardous rule. If this model ever leads a unit, it will give the unit it leads the lethal hit special rule, and also once per game it can give itself a 4+ invulnerable save. The second character in the box set is an Abominant. This is a fairly solid fighter with toughness 6, 5 wounds and the feel no pain 5+ special rule. The model is armed with a power sledgehammer with 4 attacks at a strength of 12 and an AP of -2 with damage d6+1. If this model adds itself to a unit of aberrants, more on them in a second, will potentially allow the models to fight on death. The first time this model is removed from play as well, with the regenerating gene mass special rule, it can potentially get back up with its 4 wounds remaining. Following up is a unit of Aberrants, a dedicated close combat unit armed with heavy power weapons. They can deal some serious damage with 3 attacks each at strength 7, -2 AP and damage 2, while a character is leading the unit as well. Each time an attack targets them with a strength higher than their toughness of 6, your opponent will have to subtract 1 from their wound rolls. Add to this nice defensive special rule, they also have a solid feel no pain of 5+. Next up is the Goliath Rock Grinder. This vehicle can transport small units around the table with its transport capacity of 6, and even let them shoot while doing so with its firing deck 6 special rule. It's armed with one of 3 different heavy weapon options that can perform a variety of different roles from anti-armor to anti-horde. The Grinding Line Breaker special rule forces enemy units that wish to fall back from this vehicle to make desperate escape tests if they want to do so, with a -1 penalty. Our second vehicle in the box set is a Goliath Truck. This vehicle swaps out its big gun for 6 extra transport spots and 6 more firing deck for 12 of each. It's still armed fairly decently though, with a twin autocannon, heavy stubber and even a 1-shot demolition charge. And its fire support rule means if it shoots at an enemy unit and ever lands a hit, it'll give rerolls to wound to any of your units that shoot the same enemy units if they've disembarked from this transport as well. Next up we have Neophyte Hybrids. They're a fairly cheap infantry unit with some good objective control. They naturally have an OC of 2 and will continue to control objectives even if they move off after they've claimed them. They can have a cult icon which will allow some models to return back to the unit during the command phase, and you can also take a wide variety of different heavy and special weapons, from more generic things like flamers and heavy stubbers to more unique things like the Weber, which is a devastating wounds torrent weapon, or the anti-armor mining laser with its strength 10 heavy weapon profile. The last unit we have in the box is a unit of pure strain Genestealers. These are another dedicated close combat troop with 4 attacks each and melee with their cult claws and talons. These attacks will hit on a 2+ with a strength of 4, AP -2 and damage 1. They have the Deep Strike and Infiltrator's Core special rules along with a 5+ invulnerable save as well, and the Swift and Deadly special rule will allow the unit to charge even if they've advanced in the same turn. Our first addition to the box set will be a Patriarch. This model can lead units of pure strain Genestealers and even infiltrate with them if it wants to. In combat, this model attacks with its devastating wounds, which will come from its claws, and the Might from Beyond rule will allow it to pass on the devastating wound special rule to the unit it leads as well. It can force battle shock tests on every nearby enemy unit during the fight phase, and once per game, its Psychic Familiar will allow it to increase the range of this ability. This model is a Supreme Warlord and must always be your army's warlord if taken, and it also has a 4+ invulnerable save. Next, we have the first of 2 lone operative characters we will use to fill out our army, the Kelemorph. This model has some short range firepower with its Liberator auto stubs that have the devastating wound special rule with their 6 strength 6 attacks. When the unit shoots, one infantry unit shot by this model will need to take a battleshock test, and when an enemy moves near this model, it can actually make a free d6 move away from them. Lastly, the second of our 2 lone operatives is the Reductus Saboteur. This model is able to use the grenade stratagem for 0 CP, has the Infiltrator's Deep Strike and Stealth Core special rules, and with its Planted Explosive special rule, should an enemy unit try to move towards the model, it will unleash some decent mortal wound damage output. It's armed with remote explosive at range, which are a blast indirect fire weapon, and should anyone get too close to it, it also has a demolition charge to throw at them as well. In today's list, we are going to be using the Genestealer cults, obviously, and we've got the Biocentric Brood Surge detachment here. This will give us some good combat bonuses to our dedicated combat units. Leading our force is our Patriarch, who's our Warlord. We then have an Abominant, the Kelemorph, the Benefactus, and our last character, the Reductus Saboteur. Next, we have our first unit, which is a unit of Neophyte hybrids with 10 models in the unit, a Cult Icon, Mining Laser, Weber, and the Neophyte Leader with Leader Pistol and Power Weapon. We then have a unit of Aberrants with 5 models in the unit, a unit of Pure Strain Genestealers with 10 models in the unit, a Goliath Rock Grinder with Heavy Mining Laser, and lastly, rounding out our force, a Goliath Truck. We hope that you found this video helpful in getting you started with Warhammer 40,000, and that it was able to give you some ideas and inspiration to start your own force in the game. If you have any further questions, please comment down below, and while you're there, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and join our Discord server to check out all of our future Warhammer 40,000 content.